Purple Doofus, and welcome to the beginning of my review of The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Now this book comprises of 5 stories, and today we're covering the first half of the first story, also named The Gunslinger. It's basically up to part 8 of the short story The Gunslinger, so I hope you've read up to that point because I do not want to ruin anything for you. The entire first chapter of this story is a man lost in the desert. And you have no idea who he is, but Stephen King kind of has this deal about going into kind of obtuse descriptions of stuff for very long periods of pages. But the gist is, a man is lost in the desert and he's trying to find his way home. The second part is when that same man meets a farmer and his talking crow, Zoltan. And his talking crow only knows the children's rhyme about beans. Beans, beans, magical fruit. The more you eat them, the more you toot. That one! The man fills his water canteens, or skins as they're called in the book, decides to stay the night at the farmer's place, tying up his mule there. The third section is all about the farmer telling the guy that his mule died, and that Zoltan ate his eyes out. That's about it. Section number 4 has the man and the farmer sitting down to have dinner. The man kind of coaxes the farmer into asking him about his life story. He starts it, but then he's like, ooh, wait a minute. I have to pee. Could you hold on one second? And then he comes back from the bathroom feeling drugged. He's dizzy and stuff. The 5th chapter has the man going into this town called Tull. And I'm not sure if this is after he's been with the farmer. I think this is him telling the story. And he's walking into the town. Stephen King actually references the song Hey Jude. Again, I'm not sure about something. Is this song actually playing in the man's head? Or is Stephen King just trying to put a soundtrack to his book? Can someone tell me, please? Anyways, he gets into town and he puts his mule up. Now, was this a mule that just died, or is this a new mule that he picked up along the way to get to this town? Again, I don't know. Please help. He puts his mule up and he asks about a restaurant where he might pick up something to eat. He gets directed to a place called Chef's, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, he gets to that place and there's a waitress behind the bar and she asks, what do you want? He says, I want hamburgers. She says, do you like deer? And he says, yes, I like deer. And she says, okay, we have hamburgers. How many do you want? I want 3 and this and this and this, and it'll be $5, blah, blah, blah. And then he says he's looking for a man. He's looking for a particular man. The waitress says, what kind of man are you looking for? And he says, I'm not looking for him for that reason, but hey, I might be looking for you for that reason. And eventually the two have sex. The waitress is embarrassed by her looks after it's all said and done with. And she does the whole, don't look at me, I'm ugly thing. The man and the waitress continue talking, and she brings up a man named Nort. The whole next section is about Nort, and it reminds me of The Lawnmower Man. Not the crappy 90s movie about the virtual reality stuff. No, Stephen King actually had a very creepy short story called The Lawnmower Man about a guy who's going around mowing lawns with this giant lawnmower. The lawnmower would do it automatically, and he would go behind the lawnmower completely naked, eating up all the grass that lawnmower missed. And the reason that Nort reminds me of him is because Nort is what they call in the book a grass eater, and he is covered in greens. It's just kinda creepy. The last section that we're going to talk about, the waitress begins her story about the man that the man is looking for, and we have suddenly entered Storyception. This is the story of a guy who was walking along the street to tell a farmer a story about following a guy who this waitress is telling the guy a story about. Anyways, the waitress starts telling her story, and it's about the man in black, which is who the man was looking for. The man in black kind of reminds me of the straw man from the podcast Alice Isn't Dead, if you've seen that. I know I'm like referencing a lot of stuff, and this book is really old, so it's probably where it all started. But the man in black kind of just walks around unassuming, not really doing much, but just looking creepy. And then Nort comes in. The man in black attacks him, leaps on him, takes him to the ground. The man in black kind of walks away, and Nort sits up and he's like, I have been touched by God! Really? That's pretty much where our section ends today. Tomorrow I will have the second half, which means I will finish this short story of the book. The question that I have for you today is, do you have any stories about something creepy that you saw out in the real world? What was it? I don't have to answer any questions since this is the beginning of the book. After I finish this book, I will be reading American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Go out and grab it by any legal means necessary. Borrow it from a friend, borrow it from a library, buy it on a Kindle, buy it on a bookstore. I don't care what you do as long as it's legal and you read it before I ruin it for you. I've been Elliot the Purple Hair Doofus reminding you to watch your pajama radius. And I will see you all in the next section of The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Toodles!